Okay folks, so today we're going to be tying a balanced leech on a 60-degree jig hook with a head turner bead. But first I want to demonstrate to you something about these head turner beads. So let's take a quick look at that. I'm using tungsten offset head turner beads in this particular fly pattern, and I want to demonstrate to you that these beads come asymmetrical. They have a smaller opening and a larger opening, and you want that smaller opening toward the hook eye. Let's see how that looks on the hook. Okay, now that we've got our bead on the hook with the small opening toward the eye, we notice that the bead wants to hang underneath the hook, and that's all right for now. We're just going to leave that for now. I'm coming in with some 020 lead wire, and I'm just going to take the tag end of that and press it against the hook shank and then give it 3 or 4 wraps. 3, 4. Now I'm going to helicopter that lead off of there to break, and then I'm going to slide it back, leaving a gap between the bead and the lead wire right in here. Okay? I'm coming in with some brushable super glue, and I'm going to just put a dab of that in that gap there just behind the head turner bead. Just in here, just a little drop of that there. And then once I've done so, I'm going to turn that bead up, get it up like that, and then jam the lead wire up against it. And what you get then is it solidifies in place with the super glue and holds that bead in the correct position. Now when it's set in there and that super glue adheres really fast, sets really fast, I'll take my bodkin and just tuck that tag end tighter to the shank of the hook so it's not sticking out there, and we'll get that tag end wrapped around nice and snug. Now I'm just going to correct the orientation of that in there. It's a little more upright. Now we've got that set. It's a very good heavy hook, good for river fishing, lake fishing, whatever. It really does help balance the fly having that bit of lead wire in and with that head turner bead. And what that head turner bead does is it moves the center of gravity forward of the hook eye, the main shank of the hook and the weight of the hook, and it helps balance it. I'm coming in with my 70 denier black tying thread in behind there, building a bit of a dam behind the lead wire, and then I'm going to come in with my first chunk of marabou. Okay, I've selected black marabou, and I'm going with some medium length here. I'll pinch about 3/4 of an inch or so off the stem of the feather, and just cut off that excess feather stem there. And we're going to bring that in there and give it a loose loop to get it tucked in, and then wind the thread back to opposite where the hook barb would be if it was a barbed hook. Okay, so we've got that marabou tied in there as a tail, and we will tear it to length afterwards. It's a little long at this point, but that'll be easily corrected once we're finished tying the fly. I like a little more red in the body, so some extra small UTC red copper wire is the ribbing on this fly. So using my dispenser here, I'll pull off the length of that, and then we'll get that tied into at the tail of the fly here, because I like some ribbing in there for strength and to provide a flash of color. And we'll just get that cut off, and we'll get that tied in. Okay. I'm just getting that red wire tucked in there and bring my thread forward to grab the whole tag end of it and then back again. Now what I want here for the body is I want some longer marabou fibers, and I select those from an appropriate feather, and we're going to take, and we don't need a lot, we just need maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch of that, less than we did for the tail. And then I'm lining them up, and I'm going to be tying them in by their tips. right here. As you see, I've got the tips forward on that, and because they're fragile, we are going to get them a few wraps and then wrap that forward right up to the hook just behind the bead there. And we'll give those tips a trim now. We've got them well secured in there, so they shouldn't go anywhere. They're not just tied in at a single point. And don't worry about some of these shaggy ones, they'll get covered up. Now, because I have the longer tail end fibers there, the butt ends toward the back, it's easy to select them away from the tail of the fly. Now I'm going to just wrap these, sort of palmer them forward. And the nice thing about tying them in is the tips is the fibers of the marabou get a little longer toward the butts, and that's what I want. I want a slightly tapered fly that gets a little thicker toward the bead of the hook. And there we have the body of the fly. I'm just going to get those captured with the thread. A couple of wraps there, and then we'll move that thread out of the way and cut off the excess of the marabou feathers. Just give that a little bit of a haircut, get a little fussy here. Taking the time to make a nice looking fly, otherwise I want to make it look good right up to the front. Now finally we come in with our red wire, and I'm counterwinding it, and I'm kind of dancing it a little bit through those marabou fibers in order not to catch too many of them. This really strengthens the fly, but also gives it some flash in the body of the fly. And it really was, I found, very effective last fall on Sheridan Lake. Hung under an indicator, foot or so off the bottom, and the trout were taking it regularly. One of my better producers that last September. So I've gone in front and behind the wire there a few times, and I'm just going to helicopter that red wire out of there. We'll get it taken out, and we'll finish off with a whip finish, and I'll demonstrate to you how it hangs on a piece of tippet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. We've got our whip finished, and we have our head turner balanced leech in red and black, one of my favorite color combinations. Now I'm just going to pinch that tail with my right hand and pinch off a bit of the ends to pinch it to length. And we've got a fantastic balanced leech, and I'll demonstrate its hanging qualities to you, how it hangs so perfectly horizontal. So with an improved clinch knot, you really can't ask more of a balanced leech than that. This is how it hangs on a bit of 3X tippet that I've got on here, and I love this fly for that quality. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, and feel free to share this video with your friends. Good luck out there this season. Tie up a few of these, I'm sure you're going to catch some fish. Thanks for watching.